What if I told you that motivation is a lie? That the fire you're waiting for, the spark that makes you feel ready, excited, unstoppable, is the very reason you stay stuck. Because motivation is emotional. It rises, it falls, it whispers, "Today you can," then disappears when life gets heavy. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. It shows up when your body screams no. It keeps going when your mind says stop. Motivation fades in the storm. Discipline becomes the storm. So the question isn't, how do I stay motivated? It's, how do I train myself to move, even when motivation is gone? Welcome to the truth that separates dreamers from doers. You're watching Grow Richer Inside Out, a channel dedicated to building a stronger mindset, mastering habits, and creating a life of purpose and freedom. If you believe that true success starts from within, hit subscribe and join thousands of others growing richer not just in money, but in mindset, discipline, and meaning. Now, let's dive deeper into why discipline will always outlast motivation. Think about this. Every great person you admire, athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, has one thing in common. They didn't build their legacy on fleeting motivation. They built it on quiet, relentless discipline. Motivation feels good. It gives you that rush, the "I can do anything" energy. It's the song that plays before the workout, the quote that pushes you for a moment. But discipline is what keeps you running long after the music stops. Motivation might make you start the race. Discipline ensures you finish it. Imagine a boxer training at 5 a.m. every morning. There are days when he wakes up tired, sore, uninspired, but he gets up anyway. Not because he feels motivated, but because he made a promise to himself to show up no matter what. That's the secret. Discipline is not about excitement. It's about commitment. And commitment is what builds consistency. Without consistency, dreams stay as dreams. Let's be honest. We've all felt that illusion. You watch a motivational video, your heart races, your mind lights up, and you swear, "This time I'll change." But then the next morning comes. You're tired. The alarm rings. That fire you felt last night? Gone. Because motivation is built on emotion, and emotion is temporary. Motivation is like a wave, powerful, inspiring, but always fading. Discipline, on the other hand, is the tide. Steady, constant, unstoppable. When you understand this, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing feelings and start building systems. You realize that your future doesn't depend on how motivated you feel, but on what you do when you feel nothing at all. So, what makes discipline stronger? Discipline is not just about doing hard things. It's about reprogramming your mind to act independent of emotion. When you rely on motivation, you're letting emotions lead your life. When you rely on discipline, you're letting your decisions lead your life. Discipline says, "I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if no one's watching." Because the goal doesn't change just because the weather does. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're training your brain to trust your word. You're telling yourself, "I do what I say I'll do." And that's powerful. That's how self-respect grows. Because the fastest way to lose confidence is to break promises to yourself. And the fastest way to gain confidence is to keep them, especially when it's hard. Let's take an example. Kobe Bryant. Kobe didn't wake up every morning motivated. He wasn't waiting for the right mood to train. He practiced for hours before sunrise, day after day, year after year. People saw the highlights, the championships, the trophies. But what they didn't see was the relentless routine behind it. He once said, "I don't negotiate with myself." That's discipline. It means, I don't wait to feel like it. I just do it. And that's how legends are made. It's not that they love the grind every day. It's that they've learned to respect it. They understand that every repetition, every early morning, every sacrifice compounds into greatness. The same applies in business. The entrepreneur who builds a company from scratch doesn't stay up working till 2 a.m. because he's motivated. He does it because he's disciplined. There are nights of doubt, rejections, failures that feel personal. But he stays the course because discipline gives him clarity when emotions cloud the vision. Motivation fades in uncertainty. Discipline thrives in it. That's why disciplined people look calm under pressure, because they have already decided who they are long before the test comes. They've trained their identity around action, not emotion. Now that you understand the power of discipline, let's make it practical. Here are 3 powerful steps to build discipline that lasts. Step 1. Build small promises and keep them. Start with something simple. Wake up at the same time. Make your bed. Read 10 pages. Don't underestimate these tiny acts, because every time you keep a promise, you're strengthening the muscle of trust within yourself. And that trust becomes momentum. Discipline is built one small promise at a time. Step 2. Focus on systems, not feelings. Motivation asks, do I feel like doing this? Discipline asks, what's the next step in my system? Create routines that make action automatic. If you want to write, set a fixed writing time. If you want to work out, put your gym clothes next to your bed the night before. Don't wait for emotion. Design your environment so it's easier to act than to delay. Systems protect you when motivation betrays you. Step 3. Fall in love with the process, not the result. Discipline thrives when your reward isn't the outcome, but the process itself. When you can find pride in simply showing up, even when no one claps, you've reached true mastery. That's how artists paint, athletes train, and creators persist for years before success finds them. They fall in love with the work, not the applause. Here's a truth most people don't want to face. Discipline is uncomfortable. It's repetitive. It's boring. It hurts. But that's what makes it beautiful. Because in that discomfort, you meet your real self, the one who doesn't quit when no one's watching, the one who keeps going when nothing seems to work. Growth doesn't happen in excitement. It happens in silence, in the moments when no one believes in you, but you keep going anyway. Motivation will cheer for you at the start line. Discipline walks with you to the finish line. Ironically, the more disciplined you become, the freer you feel. Why? Because discipline removes chaos. It replaces anxiety with clarity. When your actions align with your values, you stop fighting yourself. The person who can control his actions doesn't need to wait for permission, for mood, or for luck. He creates his own destiny. Motivation gives you moments. Discipline gives you a lifetime. The deepest change happens when discipline stops being something you do and starts becoming who you are. When you no longer say, I'm trying to be disciplined, but instead, I'm the kind of person who shows up. That's identity. And identity is destiny. Because when discipline becomes part of your character, it changes how you think, how you speak, how you move. You stop needing to prove yourself. You start living from a place of alignment. Discipline turns chaos into character. And character, that's what people remember long after success fades. You'll be tested. Life will challenge your patience, your plans, your heart. There will be days when you fail, when you skip the workout, miss the target, break the streak. But that's part of the journey. Discipline isn't perfection. It's persistence. It's the ability to stand back up after falling, again and again, because you know who you are and what you stand for. The disciplined person doesn't quit. He adjusts, learns, rebuilds. Every failure becomes fuel. Every setback becomes a stepping stone, because the goal isn't to be flawless, it's to be consistent. Motivation feels good. It gives you butterflies. It makes you dream. But discipline gives you results. Motivation is emotion-driven. Discipline is value-driven. Motivation lives in the moment. Discipline lives in the mission. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a home. When you understand this, you stop waiting to feel ready. You stop giving excuses to your emotions. And that's when everything changes, because the person who doesn't need to feel good to do good becomes unstoppable. Finally, remember this. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation will inspire you, but discipline will transform you. Anyone can start strong. Only the disciplined finish strong. Don't wait for the feeling. Create the structure. Build the habits. Live by the values that don't fade when emotions do. Because in the end, the most powerful thing you can ever master is yourself. And once you do, no challenge, no failure, no doubt can stop you. So stop chasing motivation. Start building discipline. Because discipline, not motivation, is what turns ordinary people into legends.